How do you run a home business when literally everything is a distraction?
And how do you keep your home business from taking over your home? We need a word that's not action, but that means action. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
Hi, I'm Marisol. I'm a stained glass artist and owner of Juggling Studio.
And I'm Mark, a travel advisor specializing in Disney vacations. Thanks for showing up for our second video of our very young channel. If you haven't liked or commented or subscribed, I think you should do that right now. I think so. You should do that.
Or not.
And part of her contract was that she would get emotional support plushies. So we have Pua here, which is going to be our help for this video. So there you go. Now we are ready to be professionals. In this video, we're going to talk about working from home. Working from home is a dream for a lot of people. It's totally true for us, and we really do love it. But there are some real challenges and pitfalls.
And in this video, we'll go over some of those challenges and interesting, creative, and practical ways that we've tried to solve those challenges.
First up, setting up our workspaces. We run two very different businesses out of one house.
Full disclosure, we are lucky enough to have a home that has enough space for those two very distinct businesses.
So for my Disney travel business, it really is all about computers. It's all about whether it's a computer in my pocket, my phone, or it's about my laptop. It really is about the ability that I have to be online, and from what I found really works for me, to set up multiple screens so I can look at different things at one time. It's just a baby. It's just a baby. When I'm doing Disney travel, I might have one screen that has an email from a client on it, and I'm reading down the list of things that they want if they answer the questionnaire, and I'm getting a sense of their trip, the type of trip they want. I might have notes on the screen from a phone call I did with them, and I put that on one side. And then on the other screen next to it, I'm going to have the Disney site up for travel agents, and I'm going to be matching what the client told me with what I'm seeing on the Disney site. And it's important for me to be able to sit and to look left to right, right to left, and to just have everything within reach of my fingers so I can type them on my laptop in front of me. It's all about being in one spot, not leaving my chair, not getting up, not getting something from another room, just sitting in one spot and having everything I need. It's computer power without having to do any cardio. Stay here till the end of the video because we're going to add an extra little Disney thing in. We're going to talk about our favorite character meet and greet that we've had, because character meet and greets are one of the most magical things in the Disney parks.
I think one of the things that we did early on that has made a huge difference in running our businesses is that we gave them really good real estate here in our house. We turned our dining room into your office.
Yep.
Because we'd never sit at a dining table.
We don't use the dining room.
We're
That's just
really
how
casual when it comes to dinners.
Yeah.
We like having you in the main floor where I can come in and ask questions or just say hi.
Yeah.
And it's bright, sunny.
Yeah, there's good light. The kids can find us when they need something.
It's just like,
I'm not hiding anywhere. No one
No.
has to look for me. Almost anywhere in the house, you could say my name, and I'm probably going to hear you.
it's very much your own dedicated space for that, but it still feels like part of the house, and it doesn't feel like you're unreachable during your work hours. And I like that.
Yeah.
I benefit a lot from having someone just do parallel work with me. I don't need to interact, but I just need someone else who's also working, so that keeps me kind of in work mode. I get distracted very, very easily. And so just having someone who's also working kind of puts me in that space where I need to be to get stuff done.
Yeah.
We mentioned that we have two very unique businesses, and they are very different from each other. Mark works mostly on screens and computers and phones, and I'm a glass artist. So I work with glass and metal and wood and drills and all kinds of tools. And my workspace is very, very different than his. Maybe not as welcoming, as there's usually, shards of glass and fumes and other things that are maybe not friendly for everyone, which does also add another aspect of safety to my workspace, that I have to make sure that things are safe, not only for myself, but for my pets and for my family. My space also requires me to store materials and large pieces of glass and chemicals and things that, inspire me too, because I like to keep my space creative and fun and entertaining.
So one way that our spaces are different is that mine is very much, I don't want to move from my chair. My chair has wheels and I never want to use them. I just want to be right there. But you kind of are theater in the round. You have things, you move around your space differently. You have different things in different spots. And some of it is for the work you're doing, and some of it is materials you use.
Every couple of months, it changes significantly in the layout and how I'm using it. I'm always kind of trying something new. So it's interesting to see what it will look like 6 months from now. And I can't wait to show you what I was able to put together in a pretty small space.
But you're in the same situation. We carved your space out of the living room. You're behind the television.
We
sometimes
split
you're
our
working
living
late.
room in half.
Yeah, sometimes you're working in the evening. I'm sitting on the couch watching football or basketball or something, and you're just on the other side of the television working away, and we're still connected.
Yeah. I can listen to what you're watching on TV. We can have full conversations.
And next up, we're going to talk about escaping to the outside world to be productive. For those moments, you just need to.
We are hermits. We are hermits.
We would rather just be home all the time. We have really no use for the outside world.
But even we understand that it's important to get out of the house, especially when you work from home. We find small local coffee shops to be really great places to go have coffee in the morning and do brainstorming or decide what our week is going to look like.
So we'll escape with your iPad, which you use for your design and setup of the art you're going to work on, with my laptop, which is where I have the basic stuff that I need for the Disney travel. We can feel the distractions taking over. We can feel antsy from being in the same space for too long of a time, and we just say, we need to go to our outside spot. We need to have that safe spot outside where we know we can be productive. There's all sorts of places we can go to eat and have a good time, but we need to have a few spots, and we recommend you having a few spots where you know you can go get work done. For us, it's a coffee shop.
Yeah.
We each get a drink or two.
We need a quiet place, a bright light, and Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Some of you might want a loud space because the white noise is just gonna trigger you to get stuff done. We kind of choose quieter spots that aren't as noisy. That seems to work best for us.
And honestly, it's also just nice to get out of the house sometimes. If you're a small business owner too, it's always great to network with other local small businesses. As an artist, I always like to connect with other members in the community to see if there's, opportunities to collaborate with others.
And next, let's talk about those distractions and when to give time to them. We are working and we are home, so we do get to take breaks.
Neither one of us is a neat freak by nature or extremely organized, so we definitely both struggle upkeeping our home side of things. I think it's also because we don't just work from home. There are a lot of people that are lucky enough to be able to work from home, but they're not necessarily working on the things that they're super passionate about. When we get wrapped up in our work, it's not just, we're not eager to stop. A lot of times it's more, it's really, really late. I want to keep going, but I know I need to stop. So It's really easy to get lost in our work because we love it so much that it doesn't always feel like work. And it's very easy for me to, spend 6 straight hours working on a glass project and not spend 5 minutes doing dishes. I think that's something that we're still working on and that we need to get better at. So if anybody has any tips on how to keep the home and work balance thing going for us, we would really appreciate it.
Flexibility is one of the best things about working from home. Kind of turn on a dime when you need to go and do something else. But that's also a bit of a trap. Because you're always in a position where you could go and do something else, it kind of goes back to that idea that the hardest thing to do is to start. It's very easy for us to, on one day, to suddenly realize it's time to go get the kids at school and neither one of us had lunch. Neither one of us started the dishwasher. Neither one of us got a workout in. None of those things happen. The reverse will happen, where we'll catch ourselves the next day and say, remember yesterday when we didn't stop to have any lunch and how bad that was? Let's make sure we start doing that better. Let's have lunch today. We stop, we decide, look, lunch is from 11:30 to 12:15. We go and we get ourselves lunch, and then suddenly it's time to pick up the kids from school, and neither one of us went back to our studio or our office. So the flexibility in itself, it's a double-edged sword.
But I do think one thing that helps is that I am a complete pushover to myself. Like I can set 20 alarms on my phone and ignore each and every one of them. But if it's something that I know you have to do, I will make sure that you get it done. I will make sure that you're, on time for it. And I think vice versa too. Yeah. I know if there's something that I really, really want to make sure I get done, I tell you hey, I need to do this by this time. Can you make sure I do it? Because I don't trust myself to do it. But I know that you care about me enough that you're gonna make sure that I get it done. So I feel like that's one way that we do keep each other accountable.
And that is the perfect segue to our next section card, keeping each other honest.
I didn't ask for honesty.
Wow. You asked for
me
78 questions.
I only got one.
Yeah, you got one. That's not a good percentage.
We'll get more.
Yeah. I think one of the best ways to keep each other honest in what we're doing is to simply make sure that you are aware of the end product that the other person is creating. I follow your social media channels. I see what you post. I see the art that you create and then the videos you post of you making the art. I know what the last thing you posted was, the last piece you were promoting. I know what you've created, what you're creating, what's coming next. You show me the designs you're doing. I'm always asking, what are you working on? What are you working on? What's your next one gonna be? So because I'm interested in what you do, I know where you are in your process. So therefore, I'm keeping you honest unintentionally. I'm not keeping you honest by saying, well, I better go and make sure she's doing it, because no one in the house works harder than you, but I'm interested, so I ask. So I think that's one of the ways that's important, is to take an interest and have people take an interest in what you're doing. Then it's not work to keep each other honest.
Related to that, it's also, we don't treat each other's job as a hobby. You don't treat my art or me being an artist as killing time, or it's not just a silly hobby. You see it as, no, you're an artist and that's your job, and so you need to create art in order to, grow. We believe in each other more than I think we believe in ourselves. At least I know that's true for me. I know that you believe.
That is true for me.
That you believed I was an artist way before I was ready to be open to that. And that's how you also keep me going. You treat my work with respect and you give it its place. And that makes it really hard for me not to do the same.
Whether it's a passion project like art that you've turned into your own studio and your own shop, or it's a travel thing like me that's kind of an independent contractor type of situation, or you went into COVID having an office, and since COVID, you just work remotely, and that's just how your job is, but you're part of a big white-collar formal office structure, but you're just doing it from home. No matter what it is, you are working. Don't let anyone else around you not treat it as work. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not really working, or that's not really a job. You don't really have to clock in. You don't really have to do that for a certain amount of time because you're just doing it from home. So working from home is something we've wanted to do, we've talked about doing, and now we're doing it. We enjoy it. The benefits of it are amazing. The flexibility is great. Knowing that if there's a situation that arises, a kid's sick at school, something like that, just that one or both of us can go and deal with that. There's no way to put a price on that. It really is amazing to work from home. You get so much done in your studio.
Yeah, I like not having to stop a project when I'm completely engulfed. We also live in Chicago, so the weather here can get really nasty in the winter. So the idea of not having to go out for work this winter feels really, really good.
You know where there's nicer weather?
Where?
Disneyland.
We should move there.
Awesome.
Disneyland, if you're hiring.
Disneyland. Choo-choo, I can drive your train after a lot of training. Training. You got it. Yeah. Anyway, we love working from home, but it does take work. It's not something that just happens. Whatever works for you, whether it's the stuff that we talked about, or it might be the inverse of what we talked about, might actually work for you. Lean into the things that work, and you will find real benefit working from home, just like we find real benefit working from home. Thank you so much for watching. I think you should I really want to see your comments. Share it, do all those things, click all those little buttons.
If you're any kind of artist or creative person, please share your contact information so we can follow you and see what kind of things you're creating.
As we said earlier, we're going to talk about our favorite character meet and greets. One super quick Disney tip: talk to the characters. The most magic you're going to get in the Disney park is interactions with the characters. It's not a photo op. Don't just go up and take your picture with them. They want to talk to you. They want to interact. They are acting. They are characters. They are the character. They want to have an interaction that they can talk about later. They really, really, really do. My favorite character interaction that I've had is that, if any of you know, Donald is not a big fan of all the attention that Mickey gets. So we brought postcards with us, kind of these postcards that had character pictures on them. I had a Mickey postcard and Donald was there. So I went up and asked Donald if he would sign my Mickey postcard, and he threw a fit with me. He was not pleased at all that I did that. So, and then after he was all angry, then I revealed that I also had a Donald card, and he was happy to sign it. So I absolutely love that, because Donald's my favorite. So I loved having that cool interaction with angry Donald and flattered Donald. Yeah. Like I got both. That was the best. And you had maybe the coolest character interaction I have ever seen anyone have.
Well, and it was the interaction that almost didn't happen. Yes. We were at Disneyland, which is the best Disney park.
True.
And the character interactions at Disneyland are far superior than those at Disney World. It's just very natural. They're all over the place. I was never a fan of getting in line and taking pictures with characters, because that's what it used to feel like to me, like you were just getting in line and taking a picture. After visiting Disneyland, it completely changed my mind on character meets, because
I was the same.
Suddenly it was a character meet. It was meeting Baymax or meeting, Goofy. They're just walking around and you see them and you get excited and you wave at them and they wave back and you're like, ah. But my favorite character interaction, and again, it almost didn't happen, was with the evil queen. We were by the wishing well where she was. So we walked towards, and the character handler let us know that the queen was done for the day taking pictures. So we just let her know, we understand, she's done, we're not waiting for her, we're just waiting to take a picture in the wishing well. And because we waited so patiently, I think the cast member took pity on us and was just kind of glad that we waited patiently. And she said, "You know what? You're still here." And we also had a Evil Queen postcard. So she was like, "Why don't you get it signed by Her Highness?" So we actually got to meet her right before she went, probably on her break. I got to walk through the castle, with the Evil Queen, and we had this whole conversation and interaction. And it is probably something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. Like, nothing will ever beat getting to walk through the castle with, the queen herself. So yeah.
Evil Queen is checking her out. Oh, that's great.
I think at one point you were like, "Oh, she's leaving me for the Evil Queen."
She's leaving me for the Evil Queen. This is going sour so fast, like one of those poison apples. This is all going bad. It looked so tasty, and then it all went bad for me.
Okay, go. All dinnerware should be bread, and then there would be no dishes.
Cake, but bread.
Yeah.
Everything should be bread.
Everything should be bread. Bread bowls, bread plates, bread forks.
Chopsticks could be 2 big baguettes. Like planning it. You should have seen the recording we just did with it turned off.